Pourtant, d'après les prétentions des psychiatres et des compagnies pharmaceutiques, les psychotropes préviennent le suicide. Donc, que nous faut-il croire? On peut commencer par la lettre de mise en garde de la compagnie pharmaceutique adressée aux médecins, ou les données non publiées sur l'antidépresseur Effexor, ou l'analyse sur le Prozac faite d'après les statistiques de la FDA, ou le rapport de la Chambre des communes d'Angleterre sur le Zyprexa. Bien entendu, tous les consommateurs ne se suicident pas, mais il existe une quantité affolante d'effets secondaires dont on peut souffrir.
The medication that the psychiatrist prescribed me made me feel awful. Constant headaches, constant nausea, wanting my skin to turn inside out, just feeling like bugs were crawling all over me all the time.
It made me feel like all slow and like sluggish and stuff. Like, and when somebody would ask me something, it would kind of like take a minute, like, what?
These drugs have affected my heart. They have affected my liver.
Weight gain one time, hit like 40 pounds.
These thoughts come over me like I wanted to kill I wanted to really hurt somebody.
It just sucks all the life out of you. So you're like a body, like a machine.
I didn't want to live. I didn't have the desire to live. I felt miserable.
You just can't live, you know, you'd just rather die. Because there's no living when you're hallucinating every day.
I actually tried to commit suicide with my psych meds.
At some point when you realize that you are really just existing, you're not living, at some point you realize you need to take the risk to get off.
Mais qu'en est-il de ceux qui disent que les psychotropes les font se sentir mieux? Que ces médicaments leur sauvent la vie? Que ce qu'ils en retirent vaut bien plus que les risques qu'ils encourent? Les psychotropes sont-ils vraiment efficaces et sans danger pour eux?
So what ends up happening is that someone feels good for a while, and then very often they have to have their dose increased, and then they feel good for a while, and then they might have to have it increased again, or maybe they'll switch agents. So it's that kind of a story if you're not actually getting to the root of what's going on.
I think the research is pretty clear that then often starts to change, and you start to have a supersensitivity to being depressed, in which case then they become more depressed, and then they're chronically depressed.
Nombreuses sont les preuves qui mettent en évidence le fait que si vous échappez aux effets secondaires à court terme, vous n'échapperez pas à ceux à long terme.
Psychiatric drugs are toxic to the body. They do build up in the body and add to the body's reserve and reservoir of toxins that will suppress the immune system, and the body will try and fight them as foreign objects.
If they're on these medications for years and years and years, I mean, one of the things that we know about adults and some of the, you know, for bipolar and schizophrenia is that they're dying at younger ages, and these are adults. So if we're starting this you know, medication approach with young kids, you know, what is their life expectancy going to be?
No one's really examined it or is looking at the big picture, which is what's it really do to a society with a proliferation of mood-altering, emotion-altering, or blunting in a society at large.
And I think we're going to really see a huge increase in violence and suicide and a lot of bizarre behaviors that we haven't seen, because for a very short period of time, only in the last 60 years, have we really started, you know, medicating, intoxicating our brains with these incredibly toxic substances.
Les probabilités très réelles d'effets secondaires à court et à long terme devraient faire hésiter quiconque pense à prendre des psychotropes. Mais qu'en est-il de ceux qui en consomment déjà et qui n'arrivent pas à s'arrêter malgré leurs efforts? On sait depuis longtemps que les psychotropes entraînent de nombreux effets secondaires nocifs d'ordre physique et émotionnel que beaucoup ne peuvent pas supporter. Mais si ces effets secondaires sont si néfastes, pourquoi certains continuent-ils d'en prendre? Les psychiatres, les compagnies pharmaceutiques et les organismes gouvernementaux sont censés répondre du caractère inoffensif des médicaments qu'ils mettent sur le marché. Ils admettront à contre-cœur l'existence de la plupart des effets secondaires nocifs qui accompagnent la prise de psychotropes. Mais il y en a un qu'ils ne mentionnent presque jamais.
Every single one of these drugs are addictive, psychologically and or
physically addictive.
They change your body's makeup, you change your body how it reacts to things. And so even though people, in their psychological state, they may be over their depression, they physically will need that drug still. And so that becomes the complication of getting them off.
I have people come to me on a weekend, they run out of refills, and they say to me, if I don't take this drug, I'm gonna get sick. If I don't take this drug, I'm gonna get sick. We don't talk about psychologically, we don't talk about depression, we don't talk about anxiety. I am going to get sick if I don't take this drug this weekend. It has nothing to do with psychology.
Mais écoutez ce que des psychiatres avaient à dire à propos de l'addiction lors d'une récente conférence de l'APA.
How addictive are psychiatric drugs?
They aren't. Only benzodiazepines.
They're not addictive at all.
Antidepressants are not generally considered addictive.
SSRIs are not addictive.
Antipsychotics, they don't cause addiction.
Major tranquilizers are all safe as far as addiction is concerned.
The drugs that most of us are using in neuropsychiatry are not addictive at all.
Alors, qui a raison? Pour le savoir, il nous suffit de nous renseigner auprès d'anciens patients qui ont pris des psychotropes.
The psychologists and psychiatrists I went to both. They never told me that they would be addictive. They would cause me to have these thoughts.
For sure, the psychiatric drugs I was on was addicting.
Within six months to 9 months, I was hooked.
Boy, Xanax had a hold of me. I mean, I was going through a bottle of pills every 3 or 4 days.
I lost my job over it. Over a prescription drug that's not supposed to be addictive, I lost my job.
The reality is that it is addicting. It will wreck a person's life.
Ce conflit sur l'addiction des psychotropes repose sur la définition de mots. Communément, on conçoit l'addiction comme l'incontrôlable besoin psychologique ou physique d'une certaine substance. Mais pas le psychiatre. Pour lui, l'addiction c'est un besoin maladif d'une dose de plus en plus forte d'un médicament. Il qualifie seulement de dépendance le besoin incontrôlable de prendre un psychotrope. C'est la raison pour laquelle les psychiatres n'admettent pas que leurs drogues sont addictives.
In their definition, a very small percentage of people become addicted. The reality is a large percentage of people can't get off these drugs, and they call that dependence. It's all a matter of how they term it.
And when you look at addiction, it could be that their tolerance increases and their needs and wants to use the medications increase, or it could be they simply, once they start on the medication, they're not able to come off of it without help. They try to, and as soon as they try to come off the medications, they start to have symptoms that are unwanted and obviously keep them wanting to take the medications again.
When you explain to them how addictive it is, they are surprised because they're like, well, it's a prescription. So I do believe that a lot of people don't really know how harmful these meds are. They don't view them as dangerous as some of the street drugs.
Mais nombreux sont les psychotropes qui sont devenus des drogues de la rue, particulièrement cette classe de psychotropes donnés aux enfants, chez lesquels un trouble de l'attention ou de l'hyperactivité a été diagnostiqué. Des stimulants comme la Ritaline, l'Adderall et le Concerta entraînent une telle addiction qu'ils ont été répertoriés par la brigade des stupéfiants des USA comme des substances qui créent un niveau de dépendance aussi élevé que la morphine et la cocaïne.
Biochemistry and pharmacology of Ritalin is exactly the same as that of cocaine, except for the speed of onset.